Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are organisms whose genetic material has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. In agriculture, this typically means inserting DNA from one species into the genome of another to give crops or livestock more desirable traits. These traits can include resistance to pests, drought tolerance, faster growth, or improved nutritional content. The main controversy surrounding the use of GMOs in agriculture revolves around their safety, environmental impact, ethical concerns, and control by large agribusinesses. While some hail GMOs as a revolutionary step towards ending hunger and improving crop yields, many others worry about the long term health effects caused by GMOs and the loss of biodiversity and the possibility of corporate monopolies controlling our food systems. The history of GMOs dates back into the 1970s when researchers first transferred genes between organisms. While this was the start of GMO technology, no GMO food products were consumed really until 1994 when the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, approved the Flavor Saver tomato, which was a tomato that was designed to stay fresh longer. So this tomato was then sold in supermarkets and available to the public market. Since then, GMO crops like soybeans, corn, and cotton have become staples, especially in the US, where GMO crops are pretty much everywhere nowadays. But the reaction isn't the same everywhere in the world. In many parts of Europe and Africa, GMOs are highly regulated or even banned. So there's a definite consumer preference internationally regarding the use of GMOs in their food products. The ESPN impacts of GMOs are as followed. Economically, farmers may see GMOs as a financial lifeline with higher crop yields, lower pesticide costs, and better crop resilience. But there is a flip side to this issue as most GMO seeds are patented by major agribusiness corporations. This makes it to where farmers can't save seeds from one harvest season to the next, and they must buy new ones every season, which puts a financial burden upon these farmers. Societally speaking, GMO crops have the potential to reduce hunger, especially in regions hit by drought often or have populations that face high percentages of malnutrition. Yet the public trust for GMO technology still remains low, as many people believe that it just hasn't been tested enough. The technology's only been around for 50 years or so, and we haven't seen the long-term effects that the technology may have upon people. There's also misinformation and lack of transparency surrounding the use of GMOs oftentimes, so cultural values shape how societies view genetic modification. Politically, GMOs are at the forefront of global food policy. Every different country has a different perspective on the use of GMOs and if they support them or not, if they want their populations eating genetically modified food products. The US, they support them. They give many big subsidies to agribusiness companies while the EU restricts them. It just differs country by country. Some governments face international pressures from biotech firms while others fear losing trade partners if they adopt GMOs. The environmental impacts are still uncertain of the use of GMO crops, but some GMO crops like Bt cotton reduce the need for chemical pesticides, so that's a plus for the environment, while other herbicide-tolerant crops have led to the overuse of chemicals like glyphosate, giving into the rise of superweeds. There's also the risk of genetically modified plants crossbreeding with wild species, potentially disrupting ecosystems. The main arguments for the use of GMOs are food security, as GMOs can help feed a growing global population by increasing crop yields, reduced chemical use, as some insect-resistant crops can reduce the amount of pesticide application necessary. The economic benefit that comes along with GMOs is undeniable, as some farmers may experience higher profits from the improved crops and crop yields, and also the health improvements that are associated with GMOs, as these new crops are specifically designed to have a better nutritional value. Some of the main arguments against the use of GMOs include the corporate control of them, as agribusinesses hold patents on many seeds, threatening farmers' independence. The environmental risks, crossbreeding of GMO plants into normal plants can help or could impact biodiversity. The health concerns that many people have with eating GMO crops. Though many of these are unproven, people still do worry about the long term health effects associated and the ethical issues, tampering with nature, and the lack of informed consent in some communities. Worldwide, the response to GMOs has been mixed. The European Union has banned most GMO crops and demands strict labeling upon GMO products. The US has adopted a more industry friendly stance, with voluntary labeling now becoming more and more common. International bodies like the UN advocate for biosafety, which ensures GMOs are tested and labeled and responsibly introduced. There's also a push for fair licensing models so that small farmers aren't just completely alienated. I believe that the future of GMOs lies in precision technologies like CRISPR, which is a gene editing technology that allows scientists to edit genes more safely and effectively. Technologies like these will play a major role in creating climate resistant and nutrient rich crops, especially in regions vulnerable to food insecurity. Uh, However, public trust, fair regulation, and ethical concerns will remain key to shaping how widely GMOs are accepted and used in the future.